Hi viewers, welcome to this video. In this video, we are going to be looking at the addition and subtraction of surds. Now, this very concept of mathematics, addition and subtraction of surds, has been one of the areas students fears most. But I believe that if you pay attention to the lessons of this video, before the end of this, in short, before we are done with 3 examples, you are going to be a master and gain mastery of how to do your addition and subtractions of surds. But before we dive into these examples that we have on the board. As you can see that we have about 6 examples on the board. So I want us to go on a short break, and when we return, we'll do more justice to the questions on the board. Welcome from that short break. So in this video, we are going to be looking at the addition and subtraction of surds. Now, before we continue from solving these examples, I want to tell you something. Anytime you are faced with a problem of addition or subtraction of surds, there are certain facts you need to know. Number one, the first fact you need to know: the surd that you are to add or subtract must be a basic surd. So I believe in my previous video titled Simplification of Surds. If you haven't seen the video, please, or you are just seeing this platform for the first time, please, I advise that you should subscribe and then come to our channel and search for that video, Simplification of Surds. In that video, we did justice and we broke down how to simplify surds in the simplest possible way, just as we are about to simplify the concept of addition and subtraction of surds in this video. So in that video, I told you certain things. Now, what are basic surds? Now, basic surds are surds that cannot be simplified further. They are surds that do not contain perfect square as a factor altogether. So now, in addition and subtraction of surds, whenever you are to add or subtract surds, now the first thing you need to know is that those surds, they must exist as a basic surd. Number one. The second thing you need to know is that those surds that you are to add or subtract must be similar surds. So that is to say, you can only add and subtract surds that are basic and at the same time are similar. Now the question is, how can I know surds that are similar? You can know surds that are similar if they contain the same number in their root. For example, now if I have two surds now, 2 root 3 and 3 root 2. Now these two surds, 3 root 3 and 3 root 2, you agree with me that the numbers inside the root here, what is the number inside the root? 3. What is the number inside the root here? 2. Is 2 and 3 the same? No. So since they are not the same, it simply means that they are not they are not similar surds altogether. So now let's take for example now. So if I have 2 root 2 and 3 root 2, now you agree with me that the number inside the root 2, the number inside the root here is 2 and the number inside the root here is 2. So since the number is in both each of them are 2, it means they are similar surds. So that is to say, anytime you have to add or subtract surds, you can only add or subtract them if they are similar surds and at the same time they are basic surds. So with that, you can easily carry out your operation of addition and subtraction of similar surds. So now let's start digesting these examples on the board. Now we are having 3 root 2 plus 4 root 2. We are told to simplify this, that is, add these two surds. So in adding these two surds, remember the first thing I said, we must ask ourselves if it is a basic surd, and then ask ourselves if it is a similar surd. Now asking ourselves if all the surds here are basic surds. Now we have 3 root 2. So in root 2, what are the factors of 2? We have just 1 and 2, because 1 times 2 it gives us 2. Between 1 and 2, is there any one that is a perfect square? No. None of them is a perfect square, right? So it therefore means that 3 root 2 is already a basic surd. So now let's go on. 4 root 2, the same thing here. 2 is also a basic surd, right? Root 2 is also a basic surd. So it therefore means that 3 root 2 and 4 root 2 are basic surd. Now are they similar surd? Now we will confirm that. What is the number in the root here? 2. What is the number in the root here? 2. So we have root 2, we have root 2, meaning that they are what? They are similar, right? So it therefore means that they are similar surd and they are also what? Basic surd. So we can add or subtract. So but in this case now we are adding, right? Now anytime you are to add or subtract similar surd, you will pay attention to the word, to the coefficient, that is the number between the word, beside the surd. Are you together? So we are having 3 root 2. The coefficient of root 2 here is what? Is 3. We are having 4 root 2. The coefficient of root 2 here is what? 4. So if you are to add 3 root 2 plus 4 root 2, we are going to what? Just be adding 3 and 4 and then keep the word, the root 2. So 3 root 2 plus 4 root 2 is equals to 3 plus 4 bracket close root what? Root 2. So just pick one of the word, one of the roots. So if we should continue with that, 3 plus 4 will give us what? 7. So root what? Root 2. So that is the answer. Very simple. Now let's go to the second question. The total will subtract 6 root 3 from what? 8 root 3. So remember the simple techniques. Ask yourself if it's a basic surd and if it's a similar surd. Of course, root 3 is a basic surd because it does not contain any factor that is a perfect square, right? So also is this one. So are they similar surd? Yes, because the number in the root of the surd of each of them is what? Is 3, right? So now let's go. Remember, we have to subtract or add. You do that using the coefficient. So we are going to be doing now 6 minus 8. Close the bracket. Pick one of the surd. Root what? Root 3. 6 minus 8 is equal to what? Minus 2 root what? Root 3. That's your word. That's your answer. Are we together? Now let's move on to the word. The third one. We are asked to simplify 8 root 27 plus 7 plus root 75. So permit me to clean this part of the board now. When we clean this part of the board, we are going to be having, that's the third question we are solving now, don't forget. We are going to be having 8 root 27 plus root what? Root 75. Are we together? 8 root 27 plus root 75. Now, remember there are two questions that are very important anytime you have to add or subtract surd. Now the first question is what? You ask yourself if the surds are basic. Now, are these surds basic? We don't know. So let's confirm that. Remember that for a surd to be basic, none of the factors must be a perfect square, right? So in 27, what are the factors of 27? We have 1 and 27. We have 3 and 1. We have 3 and 9. So between in each of these set of factors, does any of them contain a perfect square? Yeah. So this second one, right? So for that singular reason, root 27 is not a basic surd. So we are going to make it a basic surd first. That will be our first step. So let's make root 27 a basic surd. So I will have 8 root 27 equals to 8 times. Of course, you know that 8 root 27 is same here. 8 times what? Root what? 27. So we can further expand this root 27 to be equals to 8 times root 3 times what? Root 9. Are we together? So now let's continue. We are going to be there have 8 times root 3. Of course, the square root of 3 isn't a whole number, right? So if you have seen my previous video before this one, you know that when you know that when the root of a number will give us a decimal, that's when a number is an imperfect square. Whenever you are resolving such numbers in surd, you just leave them, nothing will be done to them. So root 3 is an imperfect square, meaning that the square of 3, that is root 3, will give us a decimal, right? So for that reason, we just bring down the root 3 here, nothing will be done to it. So root 9 is a perfect square, right? So it therefore means that the square root of 9 will give us a whole number. Square root of 9 is what? 3. So we are just going to have what? Times 3. Are we together? So 8 times root 3 times 3 is equals to, remember when a whole number is multiplying a surd, the whole number becomes the coefficient of the surd, right? So 8 times root 3 will give us what? 8 root 3 times what? Times 3. So now 8 root 3 times 3, this 3 here, we will multiply the 8. It will not affect the 3 inside the roots. So this 3 will multiply this 8. So we are going to be having 8 root 3 times 3 will give us what? 8 times 3 is what? 24. So our final answer is what? 24 root what? Root 3. All together. So that is what? That is the word, the addition, the solution to the addition of 8 root 27. Sorry, we are not done. So that is the simplification of this. Are you together? Now let's come to root 75. Now root 75, are you together, is not a basis word. So let's make it a basis word. What are the factors of root 75? We have 1 and 75. We have 3 and 15. Isn't it? Is it 3 and 15? No, sorry, 3 and 25. 3 and 25, because 3 times 5 is 15, then 3 times 2 is 6, right? So 3 and 25. Then we have 5 and 15 all together. So those are all the factors of what? The pair factors of 75. So which of them contain a perfect square? This one, true or false? True. So it therefore means that we are going to expand root 75 to give us root 3 times what? Root 25. All together, root 3 times what? Root 25. So now let's continue. If we should continue from there, so root 3 will give us decimal, because 3 is an imperfect square, so we will maintain it 3 times root 25 will give us a whole number, so we'll have 5. Root 3 times 5 is equal to what? 5 what? Root 3. All together. So we have succeeded in making 8 root 27 a basis word and root 75 a basis word. Now if you want to know if you are correct, press in your calculator 24 root 3. You will see that the value is the same thing as 8 root 27. Press in your calculator root 75. You see that your value is the same thing as what? 5 root what? Root 3. So we have succeeded in making both of them a basis word. So the basic form of this is this, and the basic form of this is this. So we can replace both of them with their basic form to have 24 root 3 plus what? 5 root what? 5 root 3, isn't it? So that will give us, remember, since they are not basis word, are they similar? Yes, because 3 is here, 3 is here, true or false. So we are permitted to add. So when we are adding, remember it is coefficient that is actually being added, right? So 24 plus 5 will give us what? 29 root what? Root 3. So that is the answer to this word, to this question. So let's go. That is the answer to this question. So let's go to the next one. So the next one says we should simplify root 32 plus root 72 minus root 128. I believe you can do that yourself, right? So okay, I believe you can do that yourself, right? So it's very simple. So it's just for you to make each of them word, each of them a basis word, and a basis word, and add and subtract which of them are also word similar, isn't it? So now let's go. So permit me to clean this part of the board. If I should clean this part now, and we resolve. So we are having root 32 plus root 72 minus root 128 all together. So 32 is not a basis word because it contains a perfect square. So remember, the factors for 32 is 1 and 32, 2 and 16, isn't it? If you continue further, you will have 4 and 8 and so on and so forth. So let's just stop there. So let's just pick these two, right? So root 32 is same as root 2 times what? Root 16. So if we move forward, square root of 2 will give us a decimal because 2 is an imperfect square. So we maintain it times square root of 16 is equal to what? 4. Root 2 times 4 is equal to what? 4 root 2. Remember that when a surd multiply a whole number, the whole number becomes the coefficient of the surd, right? So we have root 71, root 72. So now let's continue. What are the factors of 72? Now we have 1 and 72. We have 2 and 26, because is it 2 and 26? 2 and 36, sorry. 2 and 36. Can 3 divide 72? Yeah, we will have 3 and 24, and so on and so forth, because 3 times 4 give us 12, 3 times 2 6, plus that one you carry give us 72, right? So let's just stop there and just pick this one. Are you together? Because you agree with me that we have 2 an imperfect square, we have 36 a perfect square. So we can further expand this root 72 to be root 2 times what? Root 36. Are we together? So root 2 an imperfect square, also we maintain it, root 2 times times root 36 is what? Is 6. So root 2 times 6 is equal to what? 6 root what? 6 root 2. So now let's make 128 a basis whole. So root 128 is equal to, what are the factors of root 128? We have 1 and 128. We should be having 2 and 64. We should also be having 4 and 32, and so on and so forth. So we just stop here because we have already gotten a perfect square, right? So we just substitute, expand this root 128 to have root 2 times what? Root 64. Are we together? So now let's continue. Square root of root 2 is what? Is will give us square root of 2 will give us decimal. So because 2 is an imperfect square, so we maintain it, root 2 times square root of 64 will give us what? 8. 8 times root 2 is equal to what? 8 root 2. It is what? As simple as that. So we have succeeded in making each of all of them basic solve. So if you are still having a problem on how to simplify a solve or make a solve a basic solve, please, I want to refer you to our previous video. The link is in the description. So click on the link or subscribe into our YouTube channel and then search for the video simplification of solve. You will see it. So then you will listen to it and then gain the mastery of how to simplify a solve or make a solve a basic solve. Then when you are done with that, you can come back to this video and let's continue. Are we together? But I believe that with what I'm explaining the simplification of solve in this video, I believe that you should be able to understand the concept of how to make a solve a basic solve. So it's just simple. Write out all the pair factors, just as we all do, the pair factors of the number, and ask yourself which one contain at least a perfect square. So pick those set of factors. Like in this case now, we are picking 2 and 64 because this set of factors contains 64, which is a perfect square, right? So you will use it and then continue your simplification process of the solve. So it's as simple as that. Are you together? So now let's continue. We have succeeded in making each of them a basic solve. So we are going to replace them. Replace each of these solve with their basic form. So remember, let me clean this part. Remember that root 32, the basic form of root 32 is what? We said is what? 4 root 2 plus the basic form of root 72 is what? 6 root 2 minus the basic form of 128 is what? 8 root 2. Are we together? So now let's continue from there. So you agree with me that in this place we are having 2 signs plus an addition, right? So then will now come our idea of BODMAS. So remember BODMAS, BODMAS. So bracket of division, multiplication, addition, subtraction. So the one that comes first is the one you simplify, right? So between addition and subtraction, which one comes first? Addition. So we are going to add this first. So remember, whenever you are adding such, is the coefficient that are actually being added, right? So 4 plus 6 will give us what? 10 root 2 minus what? 8 root 2. So 10 minus 8 will give us what? 2 root 2. So that is the answer to this the answer to this question. Are we together? So let's do the next one. Root 48 plus root 12 minus root 75. It is very simple. So I want to clean this part of the board now. Now, root 48 plus root 12 minus 75. So remember, our first step is to make each of them a basic solid, right? So root 48, what pair factor do you contain at least one perfect square? I think okay, let's do it together. We have 1 and 48, we have 2 and 24, we have 3 and 16, isn't it? 3 and 16, we have 4 and 12, and so on and so forth. So which one do you think will you pick? We just pick this one. Remember, this one also contain at least one perfect square, right? So you can still pick this one, but it's by choice. I want to choose this one. Remember, the 4 is a perfect square, so you can still use 4 and 12. But at the end, you will still break down this 12, because this 12, okay, let me use both cases and show you something. So if I want to use this first one now, 3 and 16, I'll be having root 3 times root what? Root 16. That will give us root what? 3 times what? Times 4. Remember, square root of 4, square root of 16 is what? Is 4. So root 3 times 4 is equal to what? 4 root what? 4 root 3. Now I can start to solve it using 4 and 12. So I'll have 4 root 4 times what? Root 12. So I'll have root 4 times, remember that 12 is not a basic solid. Remember, for a solid to be basic, you must not have a factor that is a perfect square. Now if you list out all the factors of 12, you agree with me, you will have one perfect square, which is 4, and 4 times 3 it gives us 12, right? So if we expand this thing, now we have what? Root 4 times what? Root 3. So square root of 4, 2 times 2 times root 3, which is as what? 4 root what? 4 root 3. All together. So that is it for what? That is it for that. Now let's continue. Let's continue by finding the basic form of what? Of root 12. Okay, without wasting much of our time, you should know that the basic form of root 12 is 2 root 3, right? So permit me to click this second way of solving, making root 48 a basic form. So root 12 is equals to root 4 times what? Root what? 3, which equals to what? 2 what? Root 3, right? Now let's go to simplify, making simplify a basic form, a basic solve. We are going to be having, remember, we have 5 times root what? Root 25. That will give us root 5 times 5. That is equal to what? 5 root what? 5 root 5, right? So now these are the basic form of each of the solve in the word, in the equation. True or false? True. So we are going to use them to replace it. So replacing 48, we will replace 48 with 4 root what? Root 3, plus replacing 12, we will replace it with what? 2 root 3. Now minus replacing root 75, replace it with what? 5 root what? Root 5. Now remember, I told you that for you to add or subtract more than 2 solds, those solds, they must be what? Similar. As remember, the first condition, they must be basic. If they are basic, then they must be what? Similar. So those are the two conditions that must justify your addition and subtraction of what? Of solds. So between out of all these solds, you agree with me that it's only these and these are similar, because both of them contain the same number in their root, 3, while these contain 5, right? So it therefore means that we can only add these two. True or false? So 4 plus 2, it gives us what? 6 root what? 3 minus 5 root what? 5. So since this is a dissimilar solve, since both of them are not the same, so there's nothing that we can do here. It's just for us to leave an answer here. So the addition of this solve is equals to what? 6 root 3 minus what? 5 what? Root 5. So that is our answer to this one, to this question. Are we together? So this 6th question, I won't do it. I will let you do it by yourself. So this is your assignment and your work, or your classwork, or your homework, anyone you want to call it. Then when you are done solving it, please, you drop the answer for me in the comment section. Are you together? You drop for me the answer in the comment section. Then I will tell you if you are correct or what, or wrong. So with that, I believe if you understand all the explanation that I've made in the whole of this video, this is not a problem, right? So hint is just going to make 45 a basic solve, make 20 a basic solve, make this a basic solve. Then look for which one are similar. and then add and subtract where possible, and then you have your answer. So it's as simple as that. So let me know your answer in the comment section, and do not forget to like my video, share, and what, and comment, and also tell your friend more about Oblan science tutorial. And do not forget, I really want to know if this video help you a lot. So please make a comment in the comment section telling me how this video make you feel. Is the concept of addition and subtraction, is it still difficult for you after this video? Please let me know in the comment section. And please do not forget to join our free WhatsApp group if you are an O level or A level student. So if you want to be part of the free WhatsApp group, the link of the group is in the description below. Click on it and join the group, or you write a direct message to this WhatsApp number +234 91 22 05 38 45. So send a message to this WhatsApp number indicating that you want to be part of the group, so you can be added to it. So when you are added to it, you meet a lot of friends, a lot of your friends who are in various countries, be it Ghana, Libya, Liberia, Canada, Germany, France, Venezuela, and so on and so forth. So when you meet them, you learn to interact with them, and it will also help to widen your scope of your understanding, and give you an ability or chance to see variety of questions on a particular topic, which then strengthen you and give you the confidence that you are a master, or you are gaining mastery of every topic you think you have studied well. So bye till we meet in our next video, but do not forget to subscribe.